Welcome back to the Blurred Channel, everybody. Today, I'm continuing my theme of where the DCEU could have been as we continue to barrel towards Flash coming out in June. We are now at the end of Phase 1, where we released Man of Steel, we released The Batman, then we released Aquaman, then we did Batman vs. Superman, we did Wonder Woman, all culminating in Justice League Age of Heroes, the first crossover movie that would have been in the DCEU. Full crossover movie, I should say, because technically Batman vs. Superman was a crossover. So, now, we're in 2016. We just finished watching Justice League, them form the team. Cyborg, got his powers, became control of them. Now we're talking about, like I said, this is really where we get into where I would have taken it, because Justice League being such a failure didn't really allow the DCEU to continue building towards another crossover storyline. They thought maybe it's best if we just left those characters alone and kind of put them in their own adventures, and then we'll just see what happens. So here, like I said, we're pretending like Justice League was a crossover success, and it still came out in 2016, which is crazy because, like I said, if they split up the directors, they could have had more time to work on each movie. But anyway, so now we're in 2016. We just saw Justice League, and I would do a Teen Titans movie after this. Why? Well, let me go over the plot. So we know Robin was introduced in The Batman, and he had a role in Batman vs. Superman, but Dick Grayson was introduced, and he's a character in this movie. So we're going to start with Robin is befriending Cyborg after meeting him through Batman in the Batcave. They're meeting, talking, Batman's basically introducing Cyborg to Robin. Batman didn't take Robin on the mission in Justice League because Batman felt like it was a little too dangerous. Batman has never fought aliens. There's no reason for him to think that his sidekick should join him in fighting aliens. That's easy to explain. So while they're in the Batcave, Starfire is going to crash to Earth, and she's going to be pursued by Blackfire and a bunch of hostile aliens. And it's going to happen right in Gotham, right outside the Batcave, right nearby. And like I said, it's a little convenient for the plot, but we're just moving the plot along, and that's where Starfire lands. So then these aliens are trying to track her, and Robin, Cyborg, and Batman are all going to leave the Batcave to see what's going on. When they get there, the Doom Patrol, led by the Chief, featuring Robot Man, Elastigirl, Negative Man, and their newest recruit, Beast Boy, are going to appear on the scene, and they help Batman, Cyborg, and Robin defend Starfire. And Starfire is going to fight her sister, Blackfire, and defeat her, and the chief of the hostile aliens is going to have to take them back to Tamaran. And they're all going to leave. And so then that's the scene where Starfire is going to kiss Robin to learn the human language. And of course, Beast Boy is super excited to see some heroes that are closer to his own age. Because Robin is being played by Robert Pattinson, and I have Alexandra Daddario playing Starfire. But they're still closer than, in Beast Boy's team, he's got Chief, Robot Man, Elastigirl, and Negative Man. They're outcasts, but they're older heroes. And so the way I would mention the Doom Patrol after this, Beast Boy is going to go grab pizza with Robin and Cyborg and Starfire, and they're going to talk about their stories and basically kind of explain their origins. Beast Boy is going to say that his parents he had this debilitating disease, and his dad tried to turn him into this monkey who was immune to the disease. That way he could be cured from it and then turn him back. But all it did was give Beast Boy these powers where he could turn into any animal. And Starfire is going to explain that Blackfire had sold Starfire into slavery after Starfire discovered that Blackfire killed their parents to take over the throne early, and she had just escaped, and that's why all those aliens were there to stop them. And so then we would kind of swap scenes before Robin and Cyborg tell their stories to Beast Boy and Starfire, because we already know those stories as the audience. So then we would go to the Doom Patrol, right? And so the Doom Patrol, again, we haven't had anything to introduce them, and I don't think we would need to. I think that the way that they would explain it is that, they're heroes that were inspired by the Justice League's action, and so they decided to come and help out next time that there were aliens attacking. And that's how, And it's like, how did the Doom Patrol find, Starfire and the aliens and stuff? Well, it was on the news with a bunch of stuff happening, so it wasn't very hard for them to find them. So basically, the Doom Patrol is going to be approached by Raven. And Raven's going to ask them to help her defeat her intradimensional father, Trigon. In the comics, Raven seeks out Dick Grayson. In this one, I decided she's going to seek out a more experienced team. And I think she's specifically going to seek out Negative Man. Because based on Negative Man's powers, Raven's hoping that Negative Man can possess her and prevent Trigon from escaping by locking him deep inside the mental prison that she has. Except when Negative Man does that, Trigon actually possesses Negative Man. And then Negative Man possesses Elastigirl, Robot Man, and Chief. And by that time when that happens, the younger heroes, Cyborg, Beast Boy, Robin, and Starfire, are bringing Beast Boy back to the Doom Patrol. And Raven's going to tell them what happened, and the Teen Titans are going to have to fight the Doom Patrol. So it's almost similar to the animated movie that came out, Teen Titans versus the Justice League, except this time I would have it where the Doom Patrol are the ones that they're fighting against. So it's going to be like Chief fighting Nightwing, Robot Man's going to be fighting Cyborg, Crazy Jane's going to be fighting Beast Boy, at least Elastigirl is going to be fighting Starfire, and Negative Man's going to be fighting Raven. And so Raven's going to discover that she's got to find a way to get back inside. And so once she defeats Negative Man, the other Titans are going to help empower her and help her to put Trigon back in his prison so he can't be released. And so Batman is going to end up building Titan's Tower for the young heroes. And then Robin is going to take on a new persona, and he's going to decide to become Nightwing. In this movie, he would also give Batman a tip on who he should recruit next for a new Robin. And then the Doom Patrol are going to decide, you know what, the Teen Titans, they got this. Let's go, retire, and maybe go live those lives that we've always wanted. And then Beast Boy is going to join the Titans. And so that would form the Teen Titans: Cyborg, Robin, Starfire, Raven, and Beast Boy. And so at the end, this could spin off to that same Doom Patrol TV show that came out, because this came out in 2016. And that could either be told as a prequel, or it could be told of them coming out of retirement after this movie. I probably would just tell it as a prequel, show like how did the Doom Patrol come together and what it was like with them all working together and how they got their powers. I feel like we don't need all of that background for this movie because the Doom Patrol's powers aren't as complicated. And again, in this movie, they're more like this movie is more about how the Teen Titans are coming together, and it's almost like the Doom Patrol is passing the torch. So then if we get a TV show afterwards showing what the Doom Patrol is like, great. If not, that's fine too. The point is they have now retired. So basically this movie kind of has 3 acts and 2 villains. The first act is these heroes come together to help Starfire defeat Blackfire and send her back. The second act is more of an expositional act to set up the third one. Beast Boy is going to explain all their origins and everybody's going to understand where everyone came from. The third act, of course, is going to be the Titans fighting the Doom Patrol and ultimately fighting Trigon and trying to get him back into his prison. So then in the end credit scene, we're going to see Ra's al Ghul is going to instruct Slade Wilson to kill Dick Grayson. Now, we haven't been introduced to Ra's al Ghul yet, nor have we been introduced to Slade Wilson, but this end credit scene is going to set up the second Titans movie as well as the next movie that's coming out. Again, thank you guys so much for listening, following, watching, subscribing. We're going to keep doing this all the way until Flash comes out to continue building up that hype. With Teen Titans, we would have completed Phase 1, and we'll be going into Phase 2. Like I said, I'm going to drop a podcast on my Phase 1 castings pretty soon, and then in each video from there, I'll go over who I would have cast in each role. So until next time, Blurreds, you guys take care.